What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today I got my buddy Ace with me again. We are going to do the top 10 worst planes in the game, starting with 10, going down to number 1. Before we do that, we're going to give away another code for 100 free gold. Um, we're going to pick a random video here. Let's see. We're just going to scroll down, and we told you to pick random videos. We're just going to scroll, and wherever we stop, right here, we got the flight. This is my level 20 F100. Did I make the right choice with mods video? So if you commented on that video and you like that video, you have a chance to win a code for 100 free. Oh, I clicked on the wrong button. Oh boy. Sorry, guys. Clicked on the wrong button here. What's up, everybody? All right. It's not copying it. There we go. Bear with me, guys. Sorry. Put it in here. Fetch. So if you want to win one of these codes for 100 free gold, if you're new to the channel, you have to do 3 things. First, you have to be subscribed. You have to like the video and comment on the video. If you're not doing all 3 of them things, you are not going to win, because this algorithm here is not going to pick you. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and leave a comment. Every video that you like and comment on will get you in the running. You see that we just picked a random video. Sometimes we do the last video. Sometimes we do, any video. And Ed Kennedy 577, I think I'm taking my 100 to level 20. Thanks for the video. You just won a code for 100 free gold. 2 things you have to do. Comment on this video with your game name so I can verify. So this is your game name. Put on the video, on this video, in the comments. Hi, my game name is this, and I won the code for free gold. Also, message me on the game. How do you do that? Click on leaderboard, scroll down. I'm 39. Click on chat and message me on the game with your YouTube name, so I can compare the 2, and I'll send your code right over. So let's jump right into the video. Ace, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
So if you guys remember, Ace is back. He did the top 10 AS planes and the top 10 TDM planes with us. Very smart, very knowledgeable of the game, the right man for the job. And so today we kind of did the top 10 worst planes in the game. We're going to start with number 10, go down to number 1. We did agree on all but 1. So we'll go to number 10. Let me click on the plane, and then Ace can take it away. I'm going to let him do the majority of talking about the plane, and then I'll chime in on my thoughts on that plane. So number 10, worst plane in the game, is going to be the MiG-31. I'm trying to find it here, guys. I should have.
Oh, Bruce, can you stream your screen like last
Yep,
time?
I will share my screen. Let me just find the MiG-31 here, and then you could take it away. Sorry, guys. It's a lot easier when I am. Oh my goodness, where is the MiG-31? Oh, that's why I have it set up for trophies. But let me share my screen here for Ace, and we'll stream. Good. You can see it, bud?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. So the MiG-31. Take it away, Ace.
So the whole point of interceptors is to fly up, get vision, and then fire missiles. But with this plane, it doesn't have stealth. So when it goes up, it just gets missile spammed. The only good thing about it is the fastest interceptor, fastest plane in the game. Uh, but the problem is the turn rate is the lowest in the game.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the thing is, it does have a lot of fuel, does have a lot of speed, but you have 28 turn rate is the highest it will ever have. That's in the ideal turn speed. Not 756 kilometers an hour, but its turn rate, I mean, its top speed is like almost like not 3 times that, but it's more than double that. So you're going fast up, going fast down. You almost never have that 28 turn rate. And if you slow down that much, then you're really vulnerable to missiles. So the turn rate, usually you'll sit around 24 to 20 when you're flying, which is just way too low. Um, and because it has decent missiles and IRs, it's not like it's really low on this list at 10. So, has 4 long range radars. And then the IRs are pretty good too. But um, one of the reasons why it is, like I said, still low, a lot of people really like these radars. I mean, the IRs. I'm sorry. A lot of people like the IRs, but I think they're overrated. One of the reasons is none of these IRs will one-shot like a stealth. They'll one-shot an F-35, but that's not really a competitive plane in my opinion. So they buffed the J-20 health. So if you shoot two of them at a stealth plane, you'll usually only get one hit on them because they'll flare it. So um, it's like I said, I think those IRs are overrated. Um, the radar missiles are pretty good. They fly fast, deal like really good damage. And then the gun's not bad, but if you're moving so fast, and if you look at the spin up time, you
Yeah,
only have a little bit over a second of firing because it
yeah,
takes one
because
point.
the overheat time, I was going to say, yeah.
Yeah, the overheat time is so short. So if you look at the spin up time, so you're spinning up for over a second and it overheats at 2.7, you have probably about 1.4 seconds of true damage. And if you're moving that fast, the odds of you lining up the spinning up of the guns with crossing them, because you shouldn't be going slow in this plane, you shouldn't be hitting on anybody in this plane.
Yeah,
Um, it's the damage is good if you have the skill and timing to line it up, it can be really good guns but it it's not that good. No, the Flogger has good guns because you have time to fire them, but you're moving too fast.
yeah.
Also, this plane is the only interceptor without a way to turn if it needs to turn. So an aardvark can open its wings if it needs to turn. A F-14 can open its wings if it needs to turn. If a J-20 needs to turn, it has the delta wing. The MiG-31 has no way to turn. 28 turn rate at best, which usually is always under it, and there's no way for it to turn. Um, so it's always going to get missile spammed, and usually people fly it in Stone Forest. They almost always go five, six, 7 deaths. Usually 5 to 7 deaths is what I see in most players. Some really good players, maybe low deaths, but you can't fly it very low at all. You have to fly it high so you can hit people with missiles and you get vision because it's horribly slow at low altitudes and it doesn't turn good at low altitudes. And then you know. So you have to fly it high, then you get missile spammed. So it has some uses, but it's just really difficult to use. Doesn't turn well. So yep,
Well, yeah,
that's the fuel. The fuel special it has 17 seconds of fuel with a fuel special, so you get tons of fuel, but
it doesn't
it's
help you if you need
yeah.
to turn. And that's why it's on the top 10, number 10 worst plane, is because it just doesn't turn. Other interceptors, you can dive straight down and, dodge missiles. If you dive straight down with this thing, you're diving into the ground. So, all right.
Well, I will say you can dive straight down and dodge missiles with
If
pure
you're up
speed.
really high, I mean.
Yeah,
But
that's
if
what Tor
you're,
does in the MSI. So
if
you
you're,
can use pure speed to dodge, but
yeah, you can use pure speed. But what I'm saying is if you're at, 1,500 or 2,000 kilometers and you dive straight down, by the time you get up enough speed to dodge missiles, you're not going to be able to slow down and turn like you can with other interceptors. So, anyway, that's why we have it at number 10, worst planes in the game. And so, number 9 was actually the only one that me and Ace disagree on. So, I'll give you my number 9 worst plane in the game first, and then Ace can give you his. They're kind of like the same um, kind of like the same plane, light fighters. But my number 9 plane is going to be the F5. Now, me and Ace disagreed upon this. Sorry, let me get to the plane here. The reason why is, and they're both at 20, so we can't really say that it's, you know, my biggest thing with the F5 is the four heat-seeking missiles, and the guns just don't do enough damage. That's just mine. There's much better light fighters, like for example, the MiG-21. I'd rather fly. You have 6 missiles. I feel like the guns do more damage than it shows, but that's just for me. And I feel like F5, it turns really well. Yes, good for aircel, but them 4 missiles drives me nuts. How many times do I run out of missiles? And if I had one more missile, I would have killed somebody. So, yes, the special is really good for head-ons, but you really shouldn't be head-on with the F5, in my opinion. You should be trying to get behind people, and if with the barrage fire, the F5's missiles just don't turn like other heat seekers do. But again, it's just a plane that there's other planes I'd rather fly, and I just don't really like the F5 that much. For example, like I said, I'd rather fly the MiG 21 with the special ability. So I'm not going to talk too much more on it. It's just, you know, I mean, it's not on Ace's top 10 worst planes in the game. But go ahead, Ace. Tell everybody you're number 9.
Well, actually, I did want to talk about the F5
Oh,
for a
go ahead. Yeah,
second.
you could talk about the F5.
Yeah, so the F5, because it's the only one we agree on, I mean, the only one we disagree on is
Yeah.
number 9. One of the things I do like about the F5 is the 39 turn rate. So usually, no matter what plane you bump into, even an F-16, you can at least match their turning. So it doesn't lose a lot of speed when it turns either. Very easy to fly. It's a killer on airsup. Even with Daredevil and Disruptive, it will outturn a lot of planes and almost any plane. So the if also you're not supposed to head on planes with it, of course. But if you head ons, a lot of times you don't ask for them. Someone turns a corner, or you're going to a point in airsup, someone else pops up in front of that point because they're trying to grab it. The barrage fires good in an emergency. It'll automatically lock and fire really fast. Um, Guns you can hold them forever. They do a little bit more damage than the J-10 and MiG-21 guns. Um, and they're not bad. They feel like they hit a lot of the time. So the F5, yeah, it's weak, low damage, but just because it turns so well, it will outturn 99% of planes in the game.
Yeah, and the only reason it's on my, again, the only reason is the 4 missiles. If it had 6, it wouldn't make my top 10. It's got the one of the least amount of missiles in the game. Compare it like the F1, but it has stronger guns for the 4 missiles, and then how weak the gun is. Yes, it turns really well, so it's great for airsoft. Don't get me wrong, and you can turn with an F-16, but that was my reason for the number 9 on my list. All right. Anything else on
So
the?
my number 9 is going to be the fish bed.
Yeah, the MiG 21. That's why I was laughing, guys. I'd rather fly the fish bed than the MiG. Uh,
So the F5 had 4 missiles at 150 damage. This has 6, but they're shorter range and they only deal 130 damage. So they deal a lot less.
yeah,
Now they do lock quicker, but they're shorter range and they deal less damage. They do have better turn rate though, and a bigger
yeah,
lock ring.
and that's what one of the things I like to make 21 better is because a lot of times people returning my F5 missiles miss them. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I wish I had 6. So, but go ahead, buddy.
So basically, um, only has 200 hit points, so it can get one-shotted by interceptors and the J-20. Some light fighters can survive it, this one can't. Also, the turn rate is only 37. For such a tiny plane, I would hope it'd be higher. So planes like the JF-17, F5, F-16, they're all going to outturn it. Because 37 is relatively low. Even a farmer will outturn it because that has a 39 turn rate. It does have the same afterburner fuel as a farmer, 9 seconds. So it's tied for like really, really low afterburner fuel, which sucks because the special ability is the super afterburner. So you have 9 seconds of fuel, and the super afterburner consumes fuel faster. So if you have 9 seconds of fuel, it consumes fuel faster, you might have 5 seconds of fuel. So you are supposed to use it in short bursts, but either way, um, usually if you fly it, you will be outturned by Raptors, F5s, F-16s, Farmers, because it only has a 37 turn rate. You'll get outturned by an ADV. Well, this one has a tighter turn radius, but the ADV does have a 38 turn rate. Um, and also I think it might be the shortest range plane in the game. The A6 is pretty short range too, because it doesn't have missiles. But the missiles are just so short range. It's just the thing is, by the time you get into head-on range, even the F5 has longer range IRs. The F5 will shoot on the MiG-21 before the MiG-21 can shoot on the F5, and if you use the ability, the missiles will lock faster and fire faster than the MiG-21. So It's tied for the lowest gun damage in the game with the J10. So super lowest damage IRs, lowest damage guns, literally lowest damage and yeah, lowest health in the game, lowest damage in the game. Just just terrible. Now you can use it on air sub if you get behind someone, you can mag dump IRs, but I don't know. Usually
Well,
the
that's
play is
why,
first
yeah,
look.
I like to use it on air sub, and
Yeah,
I have this icon is to make 21 guys. So,
I will say in air sub, if you use the special and short bursts to evade people and grab the point, it can be annoying, but um I just think that other planes are just better. It's just such low damage, such low. You barely see anyone fly it.
yeah.
Lowest health and lowest damage in the game. So
All right. So, number 8, we both agreed on this plane, guys. So I'm gonna let Ace mainly do the talking on this one. It's the SU-47. I'm just gonna weigh in my point. The stupid flight control, if you don't have this plane, is the reason why it makes this list. For me, I like to turn, and when you take a hit turning, you lose control. So the good thing is, yes, you have the medium range radars that fire. You know, it's that. So um, yeah, the missiles are 1.8 seconds, but on the Su-47, maybe I'm imagining this, but it seems like after you fire the first missile, the second missile fires faster. Maybe that's in my imagination, but
actually, click the I button, click the info button on those.
yeah.
Actually, go to the description of the plane because I know on the same target they do lock faster. So click out of that. Click the back button. It should say it. It says, "Wow, it doesn't indicate it." Well, no, you're right. So if you lock onto the same person, the second, third, and fourth, as long as you're locked onto the same person, all the other missile locks are either 0.8 seconds or 1 second.
Yeah.
So the first one's 1.8, the second one is about 1 second, and then as long as you're locked on the same person, all the other radar missiles are shorter range. Um, so shorter lock time, I mean. So with this plane, it is the now, that can be good, like if you're firing at a MiG-31 that's in the air. You can shoot them pretty quick, or an ADV, so you can burn through the decoy and keep firing at it. But the problem that I have with it is, if you lock onto some one person and you're staying locked onto that person, and you try to fire 6 radars, even if you could fire them fast, people are gonna dive and flare, and all three, four, or five are gonna hit a rock. So for me, it's just not worth it. It's the initial lock time. I would like it better if the initial lock time was quicker. But the first lock time, they have 1.8 seconds to react. Missiles flying, they're gonna dive down, flare, and then they're behind cover. So I just think it's a waste. Now the turn rate is pretty good, but the turn rate is misleading. So 38 turn rate, same as the F1, but the ideal turn speed is pretty fast. But the main thing I don't like about it is the roll rate. Of course, the roll rate is not listed. The roll rate is how fast the plane tips left to right before it starts pitching and turning. So if a plane wants to turn, it rolls to the left, then pitches up. So this plane, it will change directions very, very slowly. It feels big and clunky because of that roll rate. Also, the acceleration is very low. It's very sluggish to get up to speed. So just very frustrating to fly. It does have a good bit of health, 320. Um, so that's not too bad, but the gun isn't bad. It does have a standard Su gun, like a Su-33. So good damage, medium armor piercing, good overheat time over 4 seconds, low spread, but um this the plane is just like I said, doesn't change directions very good. So it's a good medium interceptor. Um, but to Bruce's point, the main thing that I hate about it is the roll rate and the flight controls. No other plane in the game uh, is going to lose control when it gets hit by a missile or a rocket when you're turning. And what the devs, I think I remember them saying the reason they added that is because it's a heavy fighter with a high turn rate. but the Su-35 has a 38 turn rate, the ADV has a 38 turn rate, and the Raptor and the Felon have 39 turn rates, and those are all heavy fighters. So now, if they said that you will lose control only when using the special ability, that would make sense. But um, that's not the case. Now, the special ability, it locks the roll and just increases the pitch. So without the ability to um, use any roll, a lot of people accidentally bump into rocks and stuff. Now, it's good in short bursts, but I think the backflip ability would be cooler if it just increased your turn rate, almost like the F4, but or they got to upgrade the backflip ability to increase your turn rate more. It even, because the loops are still really, really slow and really, really wide. Like, have you ever held the ability down all the way, Bruce?
Uh, yeah, just not. So, one, you don't want to be doing backflips with this thing, guys. You want to be using the ability to turn left or right, is what Ace is saying. If you try to do a backflip, it takes like 3 seconds, and you're going to end up getting hit
It
in
feels like it takes like 5 or 6
five or
seconds. It
six
takes
seconds, right?
forever.
And the problem
Yeah.
is, if you're doing the backflip and you take a missile hit, you're gonna. If you don't have this plane and you don't know what we're talking about, you hit a missile hit, you get a thing that says flight control, and your plane flies out of control. And the problem is, you can't dodge another missile coming in. So you're all if they got two missiles on you, you're automatically dead. The only time you survive, and if you're close to terrain and you take that missile hit, it's gonna hit you and you're gonna lose control into the terrain. It's the only reason it's on my top 10 list here is because of this stupid flight control. I mean, I will say too, it is a good plane if you're new to the game maybe and you don't have a lot of dogfighting skills because of the longer range missiles, and you can sit back and spam them missiles, maybe get 2 kills against newer players and then for one death. But yeah, it's not against good players, guys. It is. If you guys watched like from the beginning of the videos, you'll remember I was flying with Vanguard one day, and when I was newer to flying with them, and the SU-47, I forget what video. I think if you want to go back and look, it's flying with the number 1 squad in the game. That's what the video is called. I believe that was. So there was SU-47. I killed him like 7 times, and it was funny. I was like, "Don't kill nobody! Don't kill nobody!" At the end of the video, I was like, "Let me kill this SU-47 one more time," and we played him like 3 matches in a row, and I killed the guy like 20 times in 3 matches. So, but yeah, if you guys want to go back, I'll put a link to that video in the description.
Yeah, so and I will say it is the only plane in the game that has a trait that is negative. I'm pretty sure it's the only plane in the game that has a negative trait. So, uh, and actually, it's interesting because there was one time I was up against Grim. I think it was Howdy in a Su-47. He dived low, dodged my first one with flares, turned a corner on Crucible TDM. And then my missile kind of went around a corner and still hit him, but he didn't die. But he lost control and hit terrain anyway and died. And I
Yeah,
got a pinball wizard, and I'm like, if that wasn't there, he definitely would not have died because he would have got away with and then got health because he's near the health. But because he lost control and crashed, that's just it's so dumb. I will say technically they added the what's it called? The marksman gun, the expert cannons. They added the expert cannons trait to the Su-25 only they admitted it was only to reduce the aim assist. So technically that could be considered a negative
the
trait, but
Su-25.
yes, they added the expert cannons to the Su-25 for the sole purpose of reducing the aim assist on it. But aside from that weird caveat, this is the only plane with a negative trait.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So, like I said, that flight control is what makes the list. If you don't have the plane, if you have the plane, you know what we're talking about. And if you don't have the plane, then, like I said, I will say it is fun to fly. Don't get me wrong. It's definitely a fun plane to fly, but it has it you can't dogfight with it against good players because, like I said, you lose control if you're trying to turn, and you know if you're launching long range radar missiles at good players, they're just going to dodge all of them. So, all right. So that was
Also,
number.
the roll rate, yeah, the roll rate's abysmal and it can't head on.
Yeah. So that was number 8. Coming in at number 7, we both agreed upon this one. Um, Now, with the this plane has an exception because it's only good on one map. Air Sub Stormbreak, going up and down that tunnel, guys. It's the Su-34 fullback. So that's I put all my trophies on this plane using it on AS Stormbreak. This map right here, going up and down that tunnel because it has a lot of health, and with rockets you can just shred everybody going through the tunnel. But other than that, it doesn't turn, and I'll let Ace tell you all the rest of it. So it does have a lot of health, but that doesn't help you if you can't turn.
Yeah, so one of the things about this plane is it is relatively fast. You can get up to good speed, but the acceleration is really slow, so it does take a while to get there. Turn rate's 32, so it's insanely low. Um, Very, very low, like bottom of the barrel turn rate.
And look, the devs even knew they made the ideal turn speed. They could have made it 665 or 667. See that, guys?
Yeah, so
They knew. They
um,
put it right
it
in
has
there.
Yeah, it has 18 seconds of fuel, so that's not bad. But the sluggish acceleration, decent speed, but and if you look at the traits, it's a attack plane, but it does not have cool engines. It only has the armor plating. So people are gonna lock on and shoot IRs at you at the regular range, which is annoying. Um, and then, so the big issue I have with it is the really, really low turn rate and low roll rate. So if you go in and you try to kill someone, you really just head them on, really.
Yeah,
And then you have to try and turn back to get the rearm or health. And it takes forever to do that. And then, uh, and then if you want to turn back around to face the enemy, then, it takes forever. So if you want to change directions in this plane, it's really hard. So what I do is, if I'm on TDM, I'll just keep going head on with like 2 or 3 planes. I'll die and just respawn. I usually get 2 kills with it before I die, because the rockets actually fire pretty fast.
yeah,
It has tons of rockets, so you want to pre-fire them a good bit. Just hold down that button, 8 of them a second, but because you have 120 of them and you're not going to live usually. I mean, if you're playing bad people and you're a really good pilot, you could probably stay alive a long time. But usually you're not going to stay alive too long, so you might as well hold them down. Um, just use them because you have tons of them. So this plane is mainly for head on. Like Bruce was saying, it's great for AS on Stormbreak because you just go down that tunnel and just drill through people. But
yeah.
the gun isn't too bad. Has a standard Sue gun, so pretty good damage.
The overheat time
10
is
oh
really nice.
whoa, I didn't know it had that high of an overheat
Yeah, it
time.
has a really high overheat time, which is good.
That's crazy. And it's medium armor piercing. So if you're
Yeah,
hitting other attack planes, you could spin this up. Of course, it doesn't have a spin up time, but you could pre-fire it a good bit. And relatively low damage, but medium armor piercing, hold it down for a long time. And the IRs, I'm pretty sure is this a level 20 plane?
no, it's 11.
Okay, okay, okay. So the guns probably deal good damage. So this one has regular IRs, so 1.3 second lock time, probably 130 or 150 damage, probably 150 damage. But the turn rate's low. Attack planes should have a higher turn rate. I know the
Yeah,
Su-22 has a good turn rate. The GR3 has a really good turn rate. Su-25 has a good turn rate, like 20 to 25 degrees a second. This plane only has 15-degree turn rate for IRs, so it's not that good. Um
yeah. It's only good for head-ons.
yeah, it really is only good for head-ons. I just head on with rockets all the time. Um Honestly, it's just because the roll rate and turn rate are
Yeah,
just so
that's
low.
why it makes the list. The turn. You got to be
Yeah,
able to turn
it's
against good players, guys. You have to be able to turn. You have got good players going to try to get behind you. So, like good players are
yeah, we have
not
to
good players are going to stay away from going head on with you. So you're going to end up doing nothing.
Yeah. So, and without cool engines, like I said, like people can shoot their IRs for their use. So yeah, if you're heading on attack planes and you're trying to use IRs, their IRs will lock before yours because other attack planes have cool engines. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So that was number 7. Number 6. This was one that I kind of just agreed with Ace. It had to make the list. We had to put it at a number. I will say, kind of Ace disagrees with me. I mean, I don't like the F-15. That's number 6 on the list. Um, I mean, the only thing I like about it is you can put all 4 manuals in the air, but Ace will tell you why that's a negative. But I do like that against newer players. You're going to get a lot of kills, but again, against good players, it's not going to work out too well for you. So I'll let Ace go over everything. No traits in F-15.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have any traits. So a
Yeah,
traitless plane is usually like ugh. Now I think the Raptor has a trait actually. So that's actually good. But so this plane, turn rate is 34. I think that's one of the lowest in a heavy fighter. Same turn rate as the F4. Um, but it has no traits. Decent afterburner fuel, decent top speed, but the acceleration feels sluggish. It might not be slow, but it feels sluggish. And the gun is just super short range, requires such a high spin up time. Now the overheat time is high at 8 seconds, so you can definitely hold it a while. Wow, I did not know that was over 8 seconds. But either
yeah,
way, the range is so low, and you got to spin it up.
zero
It
point
just
0.4.
is it's so annoying. You almost never win head-ons.
Now, even though the
The IR
reticle range is when that little circle will pop up, but you're not doing the damage until you get to zero point 0.4 kilometers, which is like right up on them. So,
yeah, and also, the spin up. So spin up and the damage
and
range is so
what's
low.
explain spin up time just in case there's newer pilots who don't know what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
so spin up time, the guns deal reduced damage during that spin up time. So when you hold down the gun button, you'll see in the overheat bar, there'll be like little bars that like spread out. So while it's spinning up, it deals reduced damage. So you're not dealing full damage until it's fully
Yeah,
spun up. So if you start spinning it up when you see the reticle range, you're not going to deal full damage when you're actually the bullets are
yeah,
hitting them. So you
you
want
got
to
a
spin it up
pre-fire.
first. Yeah, pre-fire. So if you see them, you want to hold it down because you have over 8 seconds to shoot it. So you want to hold it down, and then but you're still not dealing full damage until you hit the ideal range. The gun is just crap. I don't
Yeah,
like assault guns. Yeah. The IRs are boring.
yeah,
Um, standard 15-degree turn rate, 1.3 second lock time, nothing special about them. The manuals, they feel like they fly slow. They're a decent speed. They feel like they fly slow. 15-degree turn rate, so that's like lowest in the entire game. 1 second lock time, it's okay. It's not too bad. Now you can fire 4 in the air at a time with this plane, so you can actually hold down the missile button and it'll keep firing them. And actually, if you did not know, you can fire them. I have accidentally done this, but you can fire them on different targets. So I fired one missile on a target, moved the lock ring over, and accidentally fired it on a different target. So as long as they're both in that lock ring, you could technically fire it on two, but you wouldn't want to do that because they're both going to flare and it's going to be a waste. But so you want to fire 4 on one target, but the problem is that if you fire 4 on one target, if anyone like comes after you, or you have to turn to grab a point on intercept, or someone shoots a missile, you have to flare and turn. You have to give up the lock on all 4 missiles, so you're very vulnerable. Um, and let's say that a really bad player is flying a another F-15 or an F4, or they're flying a Su-47 really, really high, and you think that they're being, ridiculous. They're flying way out in the open. So when you're holding those 4 missiles, your plane is pointed up. So you're climbing, you're going up. And if you stall, your plane will fall and you'll lose lock. So you have to maintain speed while you're climbing to shoot to hold the lock on those 4 missiles. So if you're going up, shooting 4 missiles, guess what? You're going up out in the open, other people are just going to shoot you down. So you're super, super vulnerable if you shoot 4 missiles. I would only recommend shooting 2 or 3 because it takes forever to wait for all 4 to hit. So yes, it's better than some other planes because they can only shoot 1 or 2 manuals, but manual missiles are very old, outdated. Now, I will say in a head-on, you can spin up the guns and the the manual missiles lock faster than the IRs at 1 second. So in head-ons, it's not the worst, but you don't want to head on in this plane. It's going to lose most of the time, especially because of the low turn rate.
yeah.
So Eh, I will say one of the only decent things about it is the special ability. Flare reload is always a strong one. So, at the base level, yes, you get more flares, but if you get it to 20, you can have I think it has four flares. So you
Yeah.
can have 8 disruptive flares or 10 faster flares, but I would not recommend taking this plane to 20. It is not competitive, it is not that good. Because holding that lock over and over and over it just takes forever. It's, manual missiles are outdated in this game, especially if they're an M2K or an ADV. You're holding the lock all the way till it hits the decoy and it's wasted. And they don't turn that good, 15 degree a second turn rate. So people dodge them all the time. And this plane is 34 turn rate. So just overall, just not good.
And keep in mind too, guys, if you're a less skilled pilot, you should be taking your best plane to 20 first. Most of the players flying 20s have been in the game longer, so even pilots that are not as skilled have more experience, and a lot of the good players are flying 20. So you want to have your best plane at 20 first. Whatever that is for you is the plane you want to be taking at 20 because you're going to have more competitive matches at level 20s. So you don't want to be stuck with like an F-15. That's why Ace said don't take it at 20 because again, the players playing level 20 planes, you don't see F-15s at level 20. None of the good players are doing it. So, all right, so that was number 6. Number 5, we both agreed upon this one. You guys know if you watch my videos, I don't like this plane. It is the Su-33. Um, I mean, I'm gonna let Ace go over everything again. It's just one of those planes that, oh my God, where is it? Here we go. It just doesn't do anything super well. It does have a lot of health, which is good. It feels like it has more health in that, but I mean, and it does have a decent gun. It's a plane that's going to be good, and it doesn't turn really well, so it's going to be a plane that's just going to be getting behind them or head-ons. You don't want to use it on AS, it's TDM, but yeah, it's a plane you kind of fly straight and try to get 2 kills. In worst case trade, maybe you can win a trade and then get a win a head-on and then get a trade next one. That's kind of how I fly it. It doesn't do anything super great. So we both agreed upon no special trades. So
Yeah, so this plane, nothing too special about it. Top speed isn't that great. Acceleration isn't that great. Turn rate isn't that
well, I
great.
mean the
Turn
top
rate is,
speed's pretty good for
eh,
1400.
but the acceleration's
The
low.
acceleration's low, yeah.
And it's just it feels sluggish. And then the manual missiles are horrible.
You can
There's
only
like
fire
6 of them.
one. Yeah.
I would say the only use case I use them for is really up close because they have low lock time and decent damage. But for these, I use the plane up close because it's better up close. The problem with the manuals are because you have 6 of them and they're you can only fire one at a time is let's say there's an ADV, right? It pops its decoy. You have to lock in a second, wait for 3 to 4 seconds for the missile to hit the decoy, then relock for a second, wait a couple seconds to hit the decoy, relock, wait a couple seconds for it to, then they're going to flare your third one. Then you have to lock, wait a couple seconds for it to hit, and you're probably going to need 2 or 3 hits to kill the ADV.
Yeah.
So that
It
takes
definitely
like,
takes 3 hits with this plane to kill an ADV, I believe.
yeah, it's going to take like 8 to 10, maybe longer seconds to kill an ADV, and the ADV can shoot 4 hunters all at the same time. So you just get outclassed really, really easily. Another thing is, let's say there's a plane like that has like radar missiles, like a Su-30. A Su-30 can fire a couple missiles and then turn and flare. This plane, you have to decide, do you want your missile to keep chasing them? Or are you gonna have to abandon that missile and turn and flare? And firing one at a time is a big waste. I've tried to shoot down J-20s with these. It's dumb
It's
because
dumb,
the
yeah.
J-20s are too fast. They don't even need flares. Even at level 10, they'll just be too fast for it. They don't the missiles are slow, they don't turn good. Um just overall, just I mean,
It just
like I said,
doesn't
I
do
use
anything well, like super. It's just,
yeah,
you
just
know.
it's a close-up plane that I'll hold down the missile button so I can lock a little faster and then it'll just it'll fire up close. Other than that, the infrareds are just the basic boring infrareds. 15-degree turn rate, 7 lock angle, and then the lock time is 1.3 seconds. It just feels really slow. It's funny because there's infrareds are supposed to be close range, and yet they have really low turn rates and high lock times. Like the manual missiles will lock faster than the red missiles. So I
Yeah,
I use the blue missiles
for
up close
everything.
and far away.
Yeah,
Yeah. So um and the manual missiles do more damage. So I hate IRs.
with it is good for trading, which is not what you want to be doing, but because if you're
Yeah.
using the
So
blue
the I would say
missiles,
one of the only decent things about this plane is the gun. Because it is a Sue gun, so it's gonna be medium armor piercing, low spread, no spin up time. So you can usually hit someone. Usually you have a decent chance of trading, but you're not supposed to. And trading is not something that you want to do. You don't want to go 5-5 in a match.
yeah, yeah,
So it's just not that good of a plane. It's just
yep,
it gets outclassed and it's outdated and manual missiles that fire one at a time, especially when you have six of them, I mean, almost any plane is just gonna flare the first one. By the time the second one's incoming, they're already behind cover or you're dead. So
yeah.
just terrible.
If you guys another video, I'm not gonna put the link, but I made a video what to do with planes you don't like flying. So I used this plane when there was nobody on, and played it in AS, and basically just went, because with the afterburner fuel you can just fly straight and not even worry about just kill people on your way and just go capture one point after another, which is not what you're supposed to do in AS. You're supposed to stay and hold one point, but flying solo, that's kind of work at lower levels. But once you get it like 600 trophies, that's not going to work anymore. So yeah, it's just not a good plane, guys. Not much else to say about it. So we're gonna go to number 4. Same, pretty much identical plane. Oh, that's why I clicked on this. So you have Rabbit Fuel for the special. The number 4 plane worse is going to be the Su-27, which is pretty much identical, except you have 4 heat seekers and 4 manuals instead of 6 and 2, and you have health per second, which is kind of useless, I think, on this plane. Personally, I'd rather have rapid fuel, but yeah, it's almost identical to the Su-33. But if you want to, I mean, it's almost identical, same speed. Missiles are the same, lock, same turn, everything. So cannons are almost exactly the same. So I don't know if you have anything else on this
Well,
plane.
actually, double check the acceleration. Is there an acceleration difference? I think this one said
So that's
40.
40, and this,
I think was the other one 35?
yeah, I think it was because the Su-27 was good for air sub going capturing the planes. Yeah, I think it was 35. Yeah, so that's the only really difference. Is
So, well,
acceleration's
yeah, but
better.
the Su-33 is lower acceleration, but it does have the fuel special.
Yeah, so it
So,
kind of equals out, guys. The Su-27, Su-33 almost identical. They're both shit. You could put them both at 4 and 5. Um, you guys know, if you watch my videos from the beginning, I hate both of these planes. I remember when I unlocked this plane. You guys remember I was so disappointed. I hated this plane, and you guys know I hate. Like, if you watch my earlier videos, I complained about this plane so much. So, anything else on the Su-27? I mean, we covered
um,
everything on the Su-33. They're basically the
yeah,
same.
I will say that while how terrible the manual missiles are, they're still better range, lower lock time, they
Yeah,
fly faster,
you just
they deal
it's
more
you
damage.
only get 4 on
Um,
this one versus 6. So, kind of
yeah.
having, you'd rather have 6 manuals and you know,
As crappy as they are, I'd rather have more manuals than IRs. Like I said,
yeah.
they lock quicker, deal more damage, and they fly
And that's why
faster.
the
So
Su-33 made 5 and the Su-27 made 4 were.
yeah, another
Yeah.
reason is the special isn't as good because you have such low health. So when you heal on a percentage basis, you're not healing that much.
Yeah.
So I'd rather have fuel so you can kind of escape people or get away.
Yeah.
Health isn't that good in my opinion. On the A10, it's good because you're healing so much. But on this plane,
Yeah.
it's just not that
It's
good. So
useless.
overall, this plane, it's just not that good at anything. It's traitless. It's ah,
Yeah.
just not competitive.
Yep. Not all right. So number 3 is the Hornet, the regular Hornet. Now I will say the plane doesn't do anything super well.
That's to the left.
It's to the left. Did I miss it? I
Yeah,
was trying
it's right
there.
there.
All right. So, I mean, the plane is not. It's just crap, guys. I mean, it turns a little bit better than some of the planes. Lower on this list or higher on this list, but I mean, there's just so many better planes to fly. I'm gonna let Ace take this way. We just don't like the Hornets, guys. It's well, so when you're putting when you have all the planes and you're putting all your planes back to 1,200 trophies, all the planes on this list are like the last ones we do, guys. So that's kind of what went into choosing this list. So kind of like the Hornet is like one of the last five I did, and the other two planes on this list were like the last two and the last one I just did. So, but I'll let Ace go over it more. I mean, it does have a decent gun, but it's such short range that it doesn't really matter. So, but go
Yeah,
ahead,
so
Ace.
the acceleration is not that good in my opinion. Turn rate's only 35. Has a decent bit of afterburner
That's what
fuel,
I
so
was
you want
gonna
the
say.
special.
Sorry to cut you off. It does turn a little bit better than the turn rate shows because the nose dips fat.
It feels like a 36 to
Yeah,
me.
it feels a little bit better, but it's still shit playing, guys. So go ahead, Ace. And you got good
Yeah, top
afterburner fuel,
speed's
but
really low, in my opinion. Accelerations feels sluggish. Um, does have a decent bit of fuel, but if the top speed's low, like the F-35, top speed's low, the gun takes forever to spin up, over a second.
yeah,
Overheat time is okay, but the gun damage and range is so low. Like other guns will kill you before you even get to the ideal range. So you're never really usually going to deal full damage with it. No armor piercing, so you're never going to deal good damage to attack planes. So just not that good overall. Um, and it has four manuals. Lock time's 1 second, not the worst, but it's still like a lot of other planes have like a 0.8 second lock time. So 1 second, low damage missiles, they don't fly as fast as they should, in my opinion. Turn rate's low at 15.
the heat
You only
seekers
get
are
four
even
of them.
worse damage.
Oh yeah, heat seekers they're low damage,
The
1.3 second lock time.
Some of
I
the
feel like for
lowest heat
such a
seekers in the game.
yeah, and I feel like for such a low for such a short range missile, I feel like the lock times should be like lower. Like one
At
like
least
the short
1.1
range,
or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
1.1 or 1 second, because the short range IRs lock longer than the medium range manuals, which in my opinion is just so dumb to me. So most of the time you use the medium range, close range, and far. So fuel per second, yeah, it's got the fuel special, but overall
It's
it's
not helping
low
you because
damage.
it's
Yeah,
useless plane.
it's
So
I mean, it's better than some other ones like the health. It's not the
yeah,
worst. It
it's not the
can be
worst.
useful. I mean, it can't hurt, but
Yeah, anytime you have extra
low
fuel is
health.
gonna help. Yeah.
Yeah, low damage, low health, low viability. Most all other guns are better than this one. Most all other missiles are better. It does have four flares, so it's not too terrible. It also has I think the paints on it aren't too bad. Yeah, so you can get the Bengals. I like the one next to it, the Predator. So it does have a legendary paint that doesn't look too terrible.
But keep in mind,
Um,
guys, you're not going to be flying this plane a lot. So once you get it to 1,200, you're going to have other planes. So it's kind of like you'd rather put the
dude,
paint if you're unless you're spending money on every paint. I save my gold for a better plane
dude,
that I fly.
249 gold for one of the worst plates in the
Yeah,
game. Now it looks
it's
fantastic,
you're
don't
better
get me
off buying
wrong,
the
but
master. Yeah, it's a cool looking paint, but so yeah, if you have
yeah,
money,
I think the mastery costs the same amount as that as
yeah,
well. So
yeah,
you
the
might as
mastery
well.
is the exact same. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's 249 gold. Yeah, or
269.
269,
Yeah,
but you get, like 10 times the value. You get two paints, you get
yeah,
parts, you get 1,000 aircraft parts, um
2,000,
2,000,
3,000 aircraft parts. Yeah,
yeah, 7,500
plus
silver,
5,000.
decals, two skins, metallic purple, gold, nose decals. I mean, actually, I think if it's 5,000 plus
Yeah,
7,500,
it's
you get so
13,500.
much
Yeah.
value. Um so much for it,
But keep
and
in mind,
for you know,
it's going to take you. Look at my mastery; it's only 15 guys. Um, you know, and I unlocked this plane after the mastery came, so you're not going to fly it that much. Just keep that in mind.
yeah, it's just slow, low damage, low
Yeah,
health. It's just not good at anything. Just not good at anything.
yeah, it's not good at anything. And so, number two, right next to it, no surprise, is going to be the Super Hornet, the not so super Hornet, or the stupid, aka stupid Hornet. The only good thing about this plane is it does have 4 radars. It's one of the only things I like about the plane. And the gun, I feel like, does decent damage. But again, actually, the gun, or no, that's the missiles. The gun, yeah, the gun does decent damage, but it's, again, you got to be right up close, guys. So, yeah, it's spin up time and an overheat time. But it's just, it doesn't do anything well. That's just my opinion. The gun cooling is nice with the fact that you have a 4.61 second overheat time, but it's just it's this is I put this thing to 1200 today, guys, and literally just even when I flew it earlier, and Ace was like, "Come on, man, why are you in that plane?" I'm like, "I got to get it back to 1200." So yeah, it was the last one I got to 1200, and yeah, don't look at my match history, guys, and see that like here's right here, last match. Don't look at like I mean, look, guys, 761 is not acceptable. So 333. I mean, I'll just show you the match history here. 510. Now we also
That was a Raptor.
oh that was the Raptor, yeah. So if I go down here, I did have some good matches with it,
Oh, you
but look,
lost in the Super
negative.
Hornet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I lost in the
negative, and
Super
then
Hornet right here. I mean, look, guys, I did have some good matches, but these were against, no offense to anybody, not so
well, they had the
experienced.
F-100 and J-35 on
Yeah,
that one, so
not
yeah.
so experienced pilots. So no
Oh,
offense
you
to
went
anybody.
6-1 there. Oh, against I don't know who those people
Yeah,
are.
but you got to also look at my teammates too. Look who I'm flying with. So
Oh
Vanguard,
yeah.
Elite. It's easy to go 6-1 when you're flying with the best play, some of the best players in
He
the
went
game.
7-0 in a hold on,
Su
look at that.
34.
7-0 and a Su-34 on Crimson.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
wild,
look what
dude.
they
Because
had
that's a
though.
turn map.
Three. Yeah, it's
Oh
a turn
shoot.
map. They had 3 MiG-31s. I was licking
Oh
my. That's why
wow.
I went 6-1, bro. I just stayed low and spam them radars. So don't look at the match history. I know a lot of you guys look at my match history and say, "Oh, well, you were doing 6-1, 7-1." Guys, it just doesn't do anything well against good player.
Yeah.
You can see the matches against good players. I mean, the matches against good players, guys. 3-3. I mean, went negative against good players. Where was it here? The one I went negative, or no, that wasn't it. Where was it? Yeah, I went
I think it was
negative,
a
or no, that was
20
the.
to 19. It was the one right above that.
Yeah, look, I went
Yeah.
negative in it, and I went negative on. That was. I know I said went negative on 2 of them. So yeah, don't look at that, guys. It's not a good plane. So I don't know if you have anything else on that.
I actually do. So if you
And I
look at
accidentally
the
bought the mastery on this one. Remember when I was unlocking the planes, making videos, guys? We bought the mastery on every plane we unlocked. So, because I thought this, and remember too, when you're a less skilled pilot, radar missiles are going to be good for you. If you're not too good at dogfighting, because you can kind of stay back and just spam radars, hit a refill, keep spamming radars. But you know, I mean, that's probably the only good thing this plane does. But everything else. But go ahead, Ace. I'm sorry.
yeah, so if it just feels slow, it just is slow,
It doesn't
acceleration's not
turn
that
good
good.
either.
Yeah, look, what's the turn rate? I think it's 35 or 30. It
It's
might be
lower than
34. I
that,
think
I
it's
think. It's
35. Yeah,
35.
35.
Yeah.
But it does have decent fuel, but the acceleration is really slow. It feels like the top speed's low. Health isn't that good. The gun, it does have under 1 second of spin up time, but I still hate the gun. Really, really short range,
Yeah,
half
you gotta
spin
be
up.
right up on
It,
them.
it's
So
terrible. And the IRs are, the basic boring old IRs, 1.3 second lock time, 15-degree turn rate. Just not that good for
yeah, they don't
high
do any
Rs, and that's
damage.
Yeah, they're low speed,
And you
low
gotta look, even
turn.
the radars don't do that much damage, guys. Other radar missiles do more damage than.
Yeah. Also, the radar missiles, you have four of them, but they take forever to lock. So the problem with the Hornet is a lot of this game as a whole, um, you get into a lot of head-ons. Sometimes, most of the time it's not on purpose. Sometimes it is, but a lot of times you just get into head-ons. That's just how the game works.
Yeah,
And the problem is the guns are super short range. The IRs are 1.3 second lock and the radars are 1.8 second lock. So you're screwed. You get up close to someone and
yeah.
there's no good option. The best option might be the IRs, but then they deal lower damage. You might want to go with radar. I don't know. But either way, it's terrible up close and far away. You're firing missiles 1.8 seconds at a time. Most people are going to flare the first one, try to dodge the second one, take cover. It's just not that good. And then it has no traits,
Yeah.
so that's another thing that sucks. There's nothing special about it. Four flares isn't too bad. And then the special is just terrible. I think gun cooling is one of the worst specials in the entire game. It's generic, it's boring, and usually you
I mean,
almost
I
never overheat your
disagree on
guns.
that, but that's just play preference. I
What
overheat
do
my
you think
guns a
is the worst
lot.
special?
Um, I mean, I don't think. I think the worst special on most planes is the health per second. I just think it's
Well,
useless for
on the
most of the
A10,
point.
it's overpowered.
But on
On
the
the
A10,
A10,
it's good. But on all the other planes that it has, it's just useless. But for me,
on the
for,
Su-34, it's not
but
too
for
bad,
my
honestly.
style of play, where I spin up every gun, I start firing early. I overheat my guns all the time. So gun cooling is good. You might be right with it being the worst special in the game for a more skilled pilot than myself. I overheat my guns. Like it's a bad habit, if that's the
Okay,
best
let me
way I
ask you
could
a
put it.
question, Bruce. How many times do you overheat your farmer guns?
All the time.
Oh, what? Okay, what are your
Yeah.
felon guns?
All the time, and not as much as the
Dude,
farmer.
oh my goodness, you gotta aim gooder. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
that's again, it's a skill issue. But what I'm saying is that helps me get
So yeah,
hitting that gun cooling and finishing somebody off is nice. So
yeah,
for my style of play, it helps me because I don't.
if you spray and pray liberally and you pre-fire a lot and you're holding it down or you're trying to kill two or three people in a row, you're
Yeah,
trying to get gunslingers, it's usable, but I almost never overheat my guns. It's just such a foreign thing to me because I time everything out and I watch the overheat because the regular cooldown, because let's say you're right about to overheat, a millisecond before, letting it cool down versus overheating and cooling down is way quicker. So in my
yeah.
opinion, any other special is better than this one. It's so
Oh, I
frustrating
agree. There's going to be specials that are
because
better.
gun cooling it has a use, but almost any I'd rather have fuel. I'd rather have like a flare burst. I mean, I'd
Yeah,
rather
I
have
agree with all them. I just think the health per second would be the worst, and then gun cooling would be the second worst. But that's just me though. The health per second kind of seems useless to me for the most part. So
For the most part, yeah. On attack planes, it's not like on the Su-34. What I'll do is I'll trade with someone, and let's say I only took like 100 damage. I'll just heal that 100 damage back. I don't have to go
that's
all the way out to
nice.
health.
That is nice. Yes, on the
Especially
Su-34
on
air
air
sub.
sub storm
Yeah,
break, you don't have to go exit and go all the way outside to the health. So that one, I mean, for me on attack planes, the health is good. Now, of course, in the Su-27, it's the most piece of junk waste of time. But me personally, I do think the gun cooling
well, I'll
is
say
better
this
because
too. Not on this plane because you're not going to be able to turn with them. But let's say I'm in my farmer and I'm on an F1's tail and he hit his special ability. I can because it still does some damage if you aim it right. But having that gun cooling is super nice because you can just follow that guy around and just keep wearing him down. So, but I don't know. It's just a skill issue on my
but
part.
the farmer guns deal so much damage, and the beam riders deal so much
But I'm
damage. If you're
saying, like, let's
missing
say
all the
you're out
beam
of
riders
beam
above,
riders, and in the farmer and air sup, when you're out of beam riders, right? And let's say you got three, you're 3-on-1 at B, and you shred one, you shred the second guy, and then your guns overheat. It's nice to be able to pop them guns on and kill a third
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
So that's just
like I
me
said, it's
personally.
usable.
It's
hey,
usable,
you
yeah.
need it. But for me, I just never run into that
Now I will
scenario
say
very
too, like
often at all.
there's planes where it's you absolutely useless, like the A4. I don't think I've ever
Oh
overheated
yeah,
my
the
guns on the
A4 is
A4.
useless,
Yeah, the A like the
and you
gun
wouldn't want to
cooling
do
on the
that because it'll run out
A4
of
is
bullets.
yeah, the gun I think I've only used it on the A4 once. There's another plane that I've used the gun cooling probably once. I forget which plane it is, but
Wait, go to your farmer. What do you have left to upgrade on that?
farmer nothing.
Yeah, the special ability, bro. You gotta
Well,
upgrade it.
you don't need level you only need
Oh,
level
if you like it
1.
so much, you might as well upgrade it.
But
Load the gun
I've
cooling.
never needed it more than once. I shouldn't even upgrade it to level 2. I think I only upgraded it to level 2 to help me get hanger level 20, to tell you the truth,
Wow.
because I had to upgrade some stuff. So that's probably
I
the
just feel
only
like
one.
gun cooling is always on planes that don't need it, in my opinion. Like, in my opinion, Felon, Farmer, Super Hornet, I just don't feel like, I don't,
I mean, the
maybe
overheat
Farmer,
time on the farmer is 5.8 seconds, which is kind of low, bro, if you're following somebody around.
high
But if
damage,
you're killing two
medium armor
people and
piercing,
it takes 3 seconds, if you're on their tail and they're
no
turning,
spin up time. Those bullets,
yeah,
they
I
shred.
agree. But I'm just
Okay,
saying,
hold on. Bruce, look at the damage per second.
I
No
understand
plane,
that.
no, no,
But
no. Just hear me out. No plane in the game, no plane in the entire game has higher than 432 health. So you can kill any plane in the game. Now, if they have armor, it has medium armor piercing. But in 1 second, you should be able to kill any
yeah, but
plane in
if
the
they're at
entire
that
game in 1 second.
1.1 kilometer range and you're on their tail, you're not going to get the full damage, is what I'm saying. And if they're turning and dipping and bobbing and weaving, and you're chasing them around, is when I see it comes in handy. We can agree to
That sounds like
disagree.
a.
I'm just saying it is a
I
skill
mean,
issue.
I think it's a skill issue
But
at that point.
the whole point I'm trying to make is for a player with my style who has trouble aiming the guns. Um, you know, on mobile I had no problems aiming the guns because the aimbot was much better. But on PC it'll skip around like that. The guns won't hold the
Okay, yeah,
target.
I'm on mobile, so for me the
So
guns aim really good.
when you're on mobile and you're aiming the guns, it stays locked on that target. So now let's say this is the reticle range right here. When you start shooting, it pops around like this, and so you got to kind of keep it in there in that circle. It won't just hold. You can't just hold the guns and it keeps that lock. It moves around. So that's one of the they kept that to have an advantage to mobile players. It's one advantage that mobile players have. So yeah, on mobile, I had never used gun cooling once. Whenever I played on mobile, I don't think I ever used it. Even when I do like squad points on mobile on my farm or on my ult account, I've never needed this on mobile, but on PC, it does come in handy. So that could be the difference. But anyway, we got off top. Let's get to the number one worst plane in the game. We both agree. I absolutely freaking hate this plane, guys. I mean, I don't care. Like the only good thing is, um, let's go to level here. It's the J35 Draken. It is the worst freaking plane in the game. So the special is nice with the pair fire. If you get behind somebody, you can fire one and then hit them with two. But that's about the only thing it does good. I will say there are some guys who freaking are absolute beast in this plane, but I feel like the guns are absolute shit. They do higher damage than, but there's no armor piercing. I feel like the guns are shit. I feel like the plane turns it. Yeah, oh, that's the missiles. Yeah, the turn rate is 37. I feel like it doesn't turn as well as the turn rate, the acceleration. I mean, I just think the plane's shit. But go ahead, Ace. I mean, it's the worst plane in the game. Um, I will say 90% of the people or let's rephrase that, 80% of the people I talk to agree. So
Yeah, so as
no trades.
I I do think
Oh, there is
that
a trade, Delta Wing. But go ahead.
yeah, so I did take this plane to level 20. It's a long story. I think it's funny because I upgraded it to level 12 to get a higher hanger level. And then the problem was I kept pulling 16s, so I upgraded to 16, then I kept pulling 20s, so I just upgraded it to 20. But this plane is really, really slow. It used to have cruising altitude a long time ago. And with that, I was able to climb a decent bit. But when they removed the cruising altitude trait, and in the patch notes, when they buffed the J35, so it's better than it was, But when they buffed it, they left out the fact that they removed the cruising altitude. They left it out of the patch notes. So so technically there's no record of it having cruising altitude, only people's memory. But it used to have cruising altitude. Now 15 seconds of fuel isn't bad. That's pretty good actually, same as the Raptor. Um, but it's slow, low health. Um, and then if you go to the IRs, they're basic boring IRs. They're so slow. So yes, you can use them with the pair fire, but they turn terribly,
Yes.
15 a second, and their speed is so slow. Like I've seen planes almost move so fast the missiles can barely catch up. They just feel like they should move slower than that. And then the manual missiles. Now here's the thing. They do have a 0.8 second lock time. The damage is decent at 170, but here's the thing.
That's at 20 though. That's low,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It is relatively low actually. That's low on the low end. But with these manual missiles, you only get two of them. They f- the s- the speed they fly is really slow. You can fire two at a time, but one of the things that a lot of people have no idea about is that most blue missiles in the game, you can hold down the button and then it'll lock and fire while you're holding the button down. So like on a beam rider, you can just hold the button down, it'll keep firing. On a Su-33 or F-15, you can just hold the button, it'll just keep firing over and over. You don't have to button mash it. So reds and greens, you have to button mash it. But the F-106 and J-35 are unique. They're the only planes that are blue missiles that you can't hold down the button. You have to button mash it, and that's really annoying to me. I know it's something small. It's a little piece of information. Very few people know it all. But on this plane, you cannot hold down the button. You have to just mash it, and I hate mashing it because it's annoying. Um, but point eight lock time isn't too bad. But another thing that I really don't like is with the pair fire, you could fire like three missiles at a time, right? So you fire manual and infrared, then a manual. If you do that once, you have no more manuals and you have only three IRs left. So if they flare two or three of those missiles, then you're kind of screwed. So if they made this plane have four manuals and two IRs, what that would allow you to do is you could do two of those kind of triple burst missiles
Yeah.
where you do manual, pair, manual. Then it would be decent because then you could fire two of those. But I've gone in head-ons and done like three missiles in a row, and people flare it and one or two might hit, and they're
Get
the
an
what do you call
indirect hit or something and they
indirect hit,
survive.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, I just think the pair fire is so overrated. A lot of people, oh, pair fire, pair
It
fire.
is
I'm
good if
like,
you get behind them and you hit them. Let's say you launch a heat seeker, then switch over, but you got to be on controller or good with switching. You can let them flare your heat seeker, and then you can switch over to a manual and smash a manual with the pair fire, and then smash another manual and blow them up. But you got to be directly behind them, and if you're in a light fighter or something, they're just going to outturn them missiles because, like I said, he said it's only 15
or
degree turn
outspeed
rate
it.
or
If they
outspeed it.
fly
Yeah,
fast enough. Now, the only thing on the J-35, one of the only things that you could possibly do, which is it might be interesting, is if you look at the pair fire ability, you can trick new planes. So let's say there's an M2K. You fire one missile, then fire an IR. The M2K holds its fairy dust ability. The chaff, it holds that chaff ability, and you see the sparkling silver dust, right? Because you're at a farther distance, they don't think it's an IR. That first missile will lose track, but the IR will still hit them, so they usually won't flare it. You can trick M2Ks sometimes, especially if they're high up. They don't expect an IR because there's usually not going to be a MiG-31 in your team because there's junk. So usually you could trick a M2K, or sometimes you can trick an ADV because if you fire one missile and then do the pair fire, they might think, okay, only two missiles are incoming. I'm just going to wait for them to hit the decoy. Then this one will hit. The problem is the infrared missiles are super slow and they turn really bad. They're not effective at hitting someone. Even if they don't flare, they just hit their afterburners and turn. A lot of times the missiles have a trouble catching up to people. they're just not that good. Does have four flares, so it's not too bad. And the Delta Wing, it's interesting because the brakes are so weak, you can hold the Delta Wing longer without stalling, but it's still Delta Wing, it's not the worst. Um, when it turns, because it has 37 turn rate and you can hold the Delta Wing and turn, but the acceleration's really slow. And another thing is about it is that it climbs really slow. So if you're trying to climb up to do something, like I said, they removed the cruising altitude trait. I can't really prove it existed, but a long time ago, it definitely had cruising altitude and you could climb
Ace
better.
has been playing this
Um,
game since the beginning, guys, so you take his word for it.
Yeah, I'm at a level 191 right now. 191, 192. So I've been playing the game a while. Um and I actually the J35 a long time ago, when I was brand new to the game. It used to be my favorite plane because it was decently balanced. It had the Delta Wing, it had the manual, it had the Parafire, but it was when I was very, very new to the game. I had like five planes or something like that. Another thing that I think makes the J-35 one of the worst planes in the entire game is the guns. The
Guns are
guns
shit.
do it's interesting because they are precision. They deal decent damage, no armor piercing. They deal decent damage. The problem I have with them, which a lot of people
Remember,
don't
that's at
know,
20 too. That does 322.
yeah.
So at lower levels, it's like two
So
something.
Yeah. So one of the things that a lot of people don't know, because they don't list this number, is cannon shell speed. And I'm using those words because those are the exact words that the devs used when they nerfed the Vigan gun. They said cannon shell speed velocity reduced, which means the bullets fly slower, so the gun reticle is way ahead of the plane. It's ahead even more. Another plane that has a low um cannon shell velocity that a lot of you probably are familiar with is the farmer. Farmer guns deal good damage, but the bullets are heavy, so the reticle is ahead of the plane. So when they turn, the reticle is hard to sometimes track because it moves a lot more. So the further away that gun reticle is from the plane, the reticle moves a lot. Planes that have fast bullets, like the Felon or Su-30, those bullets move really fast. Um, but um, but planes like this, the bullets are so slow. So one of the things that I did was I went for the icon. Unfortunately, when you go for the icon, I did get it, but you face a lot of bots, which are lame. And what would happen is I'd go into their spawn. A bot would just fly past me because they're dumb. When it was flying past me, the gun reticle, when it would appear, it would be so far ahead of the plane, I couldn't turn enough to get my guns on him because the reticle was so far ahead of the plane. I felt like I had to keep trying to catch up to that gun reticle, and planes are just flying past me left and right. The gun reticle, the bullets move so slowly, very inaccurate, because the reticle's all over the place. It does have a couple paints for it. Um, I
And I,
think it has,
I will say
I think it
this
has like a
too.
tiger one.
You don't want to
No, it
take,
doesn't.
yeah, you don't want to take this thing to 20, guys. I took this thing
Wait,
to,
it does have a tiger. Yeah, tiger.
yeah, I took this to 20 thinking, all right, this plane sucks so bad, maybe it'll be better at 20. Now, maybe with Daredevil and Disruptive on it, there's a point to be made, but it's just, you don't, I feel like this is going to be one that if you do have it already, or you're a player like us who's going to play and eventually get every plane, so you're going to have to get it. Keep it at 8 to 11. It's not a plane that you want at 20. I feel like it was better at 8 to 11, so I took it to 20, saying, "Oh, it'll be better at 20 because it sucks so bad." So, but all right, so we're going to actually do a cookie for if you guys are loyal viewers. You guys know what this is. This is for the people that actually watch the videos all the way to the end. So this is only for you, but before we do that, today's sponsor. This video is brought to you by Viagra. If you're having a trouble in the bedroom, your marriage is falling apart, you can get Viagra. You can go to Viagra.com or call 1-900-LIMP-DICK, and that will get you set up with some Viagra. So the cookie that we're hiding in the video, that was a joke, guys, by the way. What we're going to do is, you guys can't tell anybody. Because if you guys put in the comments, hey, I want to win the gold code, it's going to be for a gold code for 100 free gold. We're going to give that away, especially from this video on the next video that comes out after this one. past 24 hours. So we want to, or maybe 2 days. We want to give everybody a chance that, maybe is away for a day or two that watches this. We want you to put in the comments um, something about the J35 Draken, right? So that way, don't put in there, I want to win. Just be like, oh yeah, the J35 Draken, it's the worst plane in the game, or the J35 Draken gun suck, or, I wish the J35, or even you just put, why did you take your J35 to 20 if it sucks that bad? Anything about the J35, but that we kind of like a code between you and me that we know that you're commenting on this because you watched to the end. And then we'll choose a winner at random. This is for, again, for the guys who are loyal and always watching the videos. That way you guys can win a code. So put that in the comments. Anything to do with the J35, or you can even put it in the comments. I don't want to say a plain disagree because guys might just comment, oh, I disagree with this or that. So we'll just use the J35. Or, you know what, you can even say the paints on the J35, that tiger paint is pretty cool, something like that. Just anything to do with the J35 Draken, since that was our number one worst plane. Just don't be like, spoiler alert, the number one worst plane, so people just read the comments and don't have to watch the video. But anyway, put that in there, and then so the next video that we launch, we'll give that code away, all right? We do want to thank Ace for helping us out with this video. Like I said, I'll probably drop this one tomorrow or the next day. It's kind of late now. I think we're going to go back and play some. But I hope you guys enjoyed this top 10 worst planes in the game. And, yeah, you got anything else to add, Ace?
Yeah, I just think the pair fire is overrated. Just overrated, not good. Uh, it's just almost every time I use it, people flare all three. So a
Yeah.
lot of people might disagree because they like the pair fire. It's just so overrated. Junk,
Remember,
junk,
again,
slow.
you guys got to think. Eventually, you're going to be playing. You might be lower levels now, and you might be playing less experienced or skilled pilots. We fly with the best, so we play the best a lot. Graham, Vanguard, DoD, we play each other, and we compare these top 10 planes that we gave you are based upon our experiences, flying against good players. It's like all the time, like, oh shit, I'm in one of these planes. When we get good players, you're like, damn, that sucks. So that's kind of what it's based upon. You guys saw earlier against less skilled pilots, you can do really well, 6-1, 7-1, 8-1, whatever. But against good pilots, you saw I went negative, or it was like 3-3-3, 2-2-3, stuff like that. So you have to play them a lot more cautiously. They're just, weaker planes. So, but yeah, I mean, the pair fire is fun, but I've noticed that the percentages of getting kills with the pair fire is very low against good players. Just so. All right, so that's gonna be it. Remember, put that in the comments. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. That'll get you in the running for all the code giveaways. But if you're once we give away the code for the free gold from this, a lot of times when we hide a cookie, like a month later, somebody will comment. The last one was like the A10. Them guns were awesome. That was the code phrase. We don't want everybody to put them guns are awesome because you guys are smart. And then what I noticed is people that weren't watching the videos that just look at the comments were putting that code phrase every time. Like 3 or 4 people would say the same thing. People would start spamming that. I noticed that. So that's why like I said, we'll do a unique comment about the J35. Also, I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, we're going to start doing like 72 hours to claim your gold code, guys, or a reasonable amount of time. I'm getting people hit me up that from a month ago. If you miss it, or if you didn't get to see it, I'm sorry. If that happens, you can explain your situation. I have given them their codes, but guys, like one of the guys from it was like 6 or 7 weeks ago. He's like, I want a gold code, and he was on vacation, which is fine. But the codes are for you, the loyal viewers, are the ones we want to be rewarding. We don't want to just reward people who are only watching 1 minute of a video one time. I don't mind if they win, but we try to make it for the guys that are watching everything. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.